Specialists have been the hot topic around the Battlefield community, something of great controversy. Some people don't mind it, some people absolutely hate it, and some people are just somewhere in the middle. And I wanted to discuss that very thing today. I have made a previous video on Specialists and my concerns with them, but I wanted to offer solutions and take a deeper look at this issue today. Now, without further ado, remember, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave it a nice, thick, and juicy like as always. Of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, you want more like it, be sure to hit that big red sexy subscribe button right underneath the video. Also got to thank my channel members. You guys help make these videos possible. You can join, get access to the exclusive perks that they get, and be sure to check out that blue join button. Anyway, let's begin. So what is the main issue with Specialists? Well, there are quite a few. Some people are just like, it's a cash grab. And okay, I guess so. I can see how you would see it that way, but I don't think that that is really the way to see them. Now, in terms of gameplay, I think this is where the real issue comes in, and it's the lack of both distinguishable factions as well as, I don't want to say distinguishable classes, but there's a lack of structure that comes with the current implementation of things. Obviously, like I said, you can't tell a faction apart from another, and the game becomes a HUD reading simulator. And then within that, well, you have universal weapons, you have universal gadgets, so you could have a medic with rocket launchers, you could have a support player not running ammo, you could have an engineer player without a repair tool or anything for anti-vehicle purposes. It gets really, really weird. So then why Specialists in the first place? Well, DICE has promoted this as an evolution of the class system, which is totally fine. Games should innovate within their identity to be able to keep the game moving forward and keep it modern. Problem is, the current implementation is a bit too far in the innovative direction and doesn't quite fit 100% within, I think, Battlefield's identity. It definitely has issues. I don't want to say it's not Battlefield all the way. Again, they are supposed to represent certain classes, but the current implementation is not perfect. This is also a way to monetize the game for DICE. I'm not sitting here saying, oh yay, take my money, but I am saying that in order to get content for the future of the game, this is the way that we would support the game. So this way we don't have players locked out of certain maps and weapons. And there are studios, DICE hasn't really done it, but there are studios like, basically any Call of Duty game that had loot boxes and whatnot that would take any guns that were added into the game and make them the stronger ones to encourage purchases. So I would prefer things that are not related to gameplay to be the thing that we can purchase, and that way everyone can get their hands on new guns and everyone can get their hands on new maps. This is just the state of gaming in 2021. I know some people prefer the old premium system, but again, this is a modern solution that a lot more people are going to take the compromise with, as opposed to reverting back to premium. So what is the solution? Now, unfortunately, I'm not God, otherwise we'd be in epic gaming bliss 24/7, but if I was God, I'd like something similar to this, which has been floating around the Battlefield community. Now, is this perfect? No, it's not perfect. And honestly, I'd like Specialists under each class just to have the freedom to have a specialized gadget / ability slot of their own choosing. For example, Espinosa looks badass as but apparently he's the turtle specialist. Not badass. So instead of structuring via specialist gadget, which we essentially have now, just give us some more class structures. Say, have a particular set of specializations and abilities that we see with the specialists in each class, lock those to that class, and then you can choose from that pool, and then you can even keep weapons universal. So you keep a lot of the freedom of the specialist system, but you add a little bit more structure to aid in gameplay. This would be far more similar to the previous system of classes in terms of the ability to know what a certain, I guess you could say, class would be able to contribute to the team and help with identifying enemies, so you know what to expect when you run across a particular specialist or set of specialists. You can ID them, know what they're capable of, and it can also help a lot with the team play issues that have been going on in the beta. Again, going back to Espinosa, I'm pretty sure he's an engineer. Say he can choose from the engineer tool, so you can get the recoilless M5, maybe the repair tool, and maybe the AA gun that was in I can't remember the name, I think it was F33 or something like that. You can choose from those gadgets, or you can spawn in with like Irish's armor, and then you can choose from all those things to be able to put with Espinosa so that you don't have to be Turtle Boy. I think that'd be a fair compromise. You keep that structure, and then you go over to say support with Falk. Sure, you can take the medic box with you with the Surette pistol, or you can take the ammo box with the Surette pistol so you never run out of ammo for it. There's multiple ways you could build out each individual class and still know what to expect from certain specialists, and also still be able to have the freedom to customize however you really want to and play however you really want to. I think that would be a much better solution and a good compromise on these things. I also like the idea of playing as a generic soldier. I think a lot of people like that drop of water in an ocean feeling. I think that is something Battlefield does very, very well. And again, you'd be able to do this without sacrificing having any kind of ability or specializations or gadget slots. You would just be able to play within that class's generic soldier and customize based on what ability or gadget that you would want. Again, you're still able to identify pretty easily what class that specialist is. This, I think, would add a lot more structure and lean into the class aspect of the specialist while still keeping the freedom in a lot of aspects that you get from the current implementation of the system. Again, I think you can still run universal weapons. I don't really see a lot of the issues with that per se. We'd have to see more and see how that plays out, but I don't think weapons necessarily need to be locked up. I think you can keep those. I think you can keep those universal. We had universal weapon classes in Battlefield 4. Why not do it again here, but on a grander scale, just to keep with what you're promoting. Also, speaking of structure, the factions need to be structured a bit better. I don't know how exactly they want to go about it because of the way that they want to implement skins. I've seen the idea floating around that just putting the lights on the specialists in the different factions will help, but I think that you need something a bit more because I think especially at range and in intense firefights, you're not really going to be paying attention to the flashy lights on someone, especially when it's that minor of a detail. I think shading the specialists a certain way is going to be the optimal way to distinguish factions. Now, I don't know what this is going to do in terms of skins. Maybe certain skins are locked to a certain faction. I'm not really sure. Maybe they just, you have one skin and it's shaded one way or the other depending on the side you're on. I have no idea, but they need to find some kind of a way to make this work, make the factions distinguishable in a greater way than reading the HUD, because some people like to play with the HUD turned off, and also some people are colorblind, so you can't exactly see those things, and sometimes you're just at a weird angle and you can't tell, is this friendly or foe? I have no idea. Again, you can be at range, you don't know what those little flashy lights are doing. There's tons of reasons to shade them different ways. You need these very quick, easy identifiers to know, bam, that's an enemy. It just keeps it simple, all right? You don't need to get all complex with how you do it. I know they want to sell skins, but even Battlefield 5, which I can't believe I'm freaking saying this, Battlefield 5 did sort of the elite skin thing, and I thought that was okay. You could identify pretty easily who was on what side. If you saw the big blue cape guy, it was definitely Santa Claus on the German team. If you saw Masaki, you knew it was definitely someone on the Axis team. If you saw Jack, you knew he was on the American team or the Allied team, I guess, because he could play on the British maps. I don't know why you gotta not shade them a certain way. I don't know why you gotta have them identical. I think that is a pretty major issue, but I think there are some ways to clean that up. Just keep it simple. Shade them a different color, make it to where you can easily identify one another. I don't see it as too massive of a deal to do that sort of a thing. If you gotta lock certain skins to certain factions, okay. If you gotta shade certain skins different ways depending on which side you're on, okay, I get it. I don't see it as a major issue to do such a thing. I just want to have that basic structure in my team shooter. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a nice, thick, and juicy like. Also, let's have a discussion down below. Let me know what you think about specialists and let me know what solutions you might have. I'd love to talk to you. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.